Hello, guys. How are you doing, rather? Oh, wow. EV's in Morocco. Wow. That's awesome. How do you like it? And hello to Asif. Hello to Rolando. Hello to Russell Cameron Thomas, of course. Hello to Marciel Gomez. I don't know if I have seen you before, Marciel. I was just looking through my screenshots I've taken for you for my quiz portion of the live, and I was just lolling to myself about what I was reading. So maybe that's why I looked happy, Evie. But while we're waiting for some more people to join, as they say when they make fun of people who do lives on TikTok, yeah, maybe I'll just take some questions, like the one from Marcial. So he says, "Good evening. I'm from Brazil. Super fan of you." Thanks, Marcial. And I'm probably saying your name wrong. Have you ever seen the videos of Xander on YouTube? If so, did you agree with him about limiting the attention given to women? So I have seen a couple Xander videos, okay? Unfortunately, I'm not up to date on all his latest videos. My friend, Philosophy Junkies, who I often mention on this channel, he seems to be a fan somewhat. I guess you could say he's a fan of Xander. So he kind of sometimes keeps me abreast, you might say, on just like the latest developments that Xander's going through, what he's saying now to guys. But unfortunately, I can't really comment because I don't exactly know what he's saying about this. Like, did you agree with him about limiting the attention given to women? I'm not sure like exactly what he's saying about that. So I don't know. I can tell you that the videos I've seen of his in the past, I'm screaming, crying, throwing up because I hate them so much. However, my friend Philosophy Junkies, who I like his points a lot, he tells me this guy Xander has some good info, so I'm not going to just say anything more bad about him except that I absolutely was despising what I've seen. Okay? But who knows? Maybe he's changed. Maybe he's grown. Maybe his ideas have evolved. You know, mine have too. So, what do you guys think of him? And especially, what do you think of him, Marcel? And maybe you could tell me more what he says about this limiting the attention given to women thing. Women, yeah. Hello, Red Waves. So, says, what does a girl feel when she has a serious crush on a guy, and how does she want him to approach her? If she has a serious crush on a guy, she'll probably be like obsessed with that guy. She'll be kind of like trying to run into him all the time, trying to be putting herself in like proximity with him, accidentally and unintentionally, of course. Wink, wink, right? And how does she want him to approach her? Simple. She wants him to start up a conversation with her and ask her on a date. Very, very simple. That's exactly what she wants. I guarantee it. It's not, that one isn't complicated, okay? But if she really has a crush on that guy, it's probably like non-stop thinking about that guy 24/7. So, yeah, what's the situation there, MM? Nani, welcome, Nani, and thank you so much for your super chat. He says, Vic, lol, I accidentally Looksmaxed. One day I had my hat on, and then I took it off during work, and now I have longer hair. So my hair was slicked back. Oh, wow, Nani. Then he says, a lot of compliments throughout the week, and one girl said I look more mature and a lead Spanish singer. Other compliments were like, you look like an owner of a restaurant. You look more manly. Fantastic. So you accidentally stumbled upon a Looksmaxed upgrade for your look. And you knew it was working because yet the number of compliments you were getting drastically rose. Absolutely incredible, Nani. Wow. Yes, I guess that was a bit of just, you know, blatant luck that you stumbled on this because you just had a hat on and the hat looks maxed you when you took it off. I love that. It's hilarious and also very promising news because with every looks maxed um, improvement one can make, one's life changes. You know what I mean? Like, for example, all of a sudden people are nonstop complimenting you, thinking you're looking like the owner of a restaurant, more manly, and like a pop icon, or rather a Spanish singing icon. I'm not sure if they would really call that pop. I don't know. You'll have to educate me on that. But anyway, that's awesome. Great. Great news. Great success, Nani. Wonderful. Have you post posted any pics of the new look on Instagram? I'll be sure to check it out. And perhaps leave a compliment of my own. And thanks so much again for the super chat. So generous as always. All right. Hey, anti-hero. He says, is true love even real? Well, it depends what you mean by true love. Like, give me your definition of true love or your best attempted definition, and then I will give you back if I think it's real or not. And so will everyone in the chat. Gabby N64 says, hey, what it is. Hello, Gabby. Welcome. Good to see you. Red Wave says, I got fooled, Vic. I thought my best friend liked me. My other good friend thought so too. I confessed, and long story short, we'll never see each other again. Oh my god. Red Waves. It's a tragedy. But, and so you thought your friend liked you. You confessed your feelings to her, and I'm guessing she was like, oh, no. And I thought we were actually friends, and you just wanted sex and a relationship this whole time. You tricked me. Oh my god. And, now it's over. You've ruined the friendship. I still think you did the right thing, Red Waves. Okay. I know it's gotta hurt because you probably that was your best friend. But it's some people never do that. When I was in college, I actually was kind of in love with my best friend, and I never confessed until about a year and a half later after we had graduated. And then I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to confess. But at that point, I had kind of given up hope. I just felt like for me, I needed to say it because the fact that I didn't confess was like torturing me. So I don't know if it was like that for you at all, Red Waves, but sometimes just not confessing can torture a person for a long time. And it's better just get it off your chest and crush the friendship if necessary. Just destroy it and move on. At least you'll be better for it. But I don't know. What's your take? So, Mr. Booyah says, honestly, I'm in the camp of just not really worrying all too much about women. I'm here because I have memories with some of this girl's videos, but my thing at the moment is taking pride in my innocence. Talking to women is often political, so I'm not doing it much more, but a bit more basically ATM. I don't have a lot to worry about. I feel good with or without, and that's nice. Okay, well, this girl says, good for you, Mr. Booyah. Okay. I really don't like when people say that to me. Like, this girl, I'm like, I read all the comments, bro. Literally every single one. So why don't you just talk to my face. But anyway, Joshua Burns. I don't know what he's laughing at, but William says, do you believe the fact that a man on semen retention looks more attractive to women? No, I don't. I don't believe it. Do you believe it, William? I really don't believe it. And I just lost half my subscribers because they all love semen retention. So, John Wick, your message was retracted for some reason. Nani says, yes, lol. I was insecure about my forehead, so I never experiment with my hair. It's always covering my forehead. Oh, wow. Counterintuitively, this slicked back look, I guess, is actually brilliant. Wonderful. Gotta see a pic of this, Nani. So Asif says, Vic, what's your Instagram? I'm sorry, Asif, I don't give it out because it's kind of personal. I had to put it on private, and I don't even post anymore on it. So, yeah. Except for a select few who I got to know. For example, Nani. All right. Joshua says, this is always a treat. Thank you, Joshua. That is kind. Red Wave says, it wasn't like that. So, okay. So, correct me then. Joshua, okay. Emmanuel Alex says, Vicky, glad to see you. Hello, Emmanuel. Reality says, does voice tone matter more than what you say? I would say what you say matters more than voice tone. However, if you want to fine tune, I do think voice tone can make a difference, okay? Yeah, definitely not going to make as much difference as looks by a long shot, but I would say, looks is way at the end here. What you say next, perhaps. Voice tone, a little below that, but it can matter. It can matter because it can project this image of, strength and confidence and, masculinity. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Nestor says, hello, good people. Oh, we got a super chat here. L, thank you so much, L. He says, is love a silly romantic notion? Personally, I have never had a woman say she loves me, even though I've had several very short relationships and hooked up a bunch of the past. 41 now, feels kind of sad. L, that's very fucking sad, okay? That's very sad. I'm very sorry to hear that because, I guess, first of all, you're in several very short relationships. I wonder how long these actually were. Because, if they're like 1 to maybe even like 6 months, okay? And the person hasn't said, I love you, it's kind of normal. I mean, you kind of got to get into a long-term relationship, basically, for the person to say they love you. Because basically, when people start saying, I love you, they're basically saying, I want to be in a long-term relationship with you. Perhaps I want a future with you. I want a family with you. I want to commit to you. So basically, if you're in these short-term relationships, it would kind of make sense why they're like, well, I'll save the L word until I know this is going to last. Now, why have your relationships only been very short? We got to dig into that. We got to know what went wrong. Did you not like them? Did they have some problem with something you did? But is love a silly romantic notion? Not at all, in my opinion. Not at all. It's very important, in my opinion. So I'm very sorry. If you want to get into a relationship, I'd perhaps invest in a dating coaching session someone like myself or someone else, your choice. But I agree. It not only feels kind of sad, I'm sure, it is sad. You shouldn't be 41 and never having experienced like a real loving relationship, in my opinion. I know it's a reality for many, but trust me, you deserve that. So I'm sorry, Elle, and thank you so much for super chat. And I hope this changes for you very soon as well. So thank you so much again, Elle, for your super chat. Let me know your further thoughts. So, Nestor, hello, Nestor. He says, "Hello, good people." Um, Joshua, he says, "When you don't worry, you do great with women." I'm not sure about that, but some people like this approach. Red Wave says, "It was actually a him." Oh no, I assumed. Apologies. He said it was really sweet and he'll think about it for a few days. He came back with a no. I said too many affectionate things one night and over time it got too much for him. My bad, Red Waves. I assumed heteronormativity or whatever. So, okay, well, that doesn't seem too bad, honestly. But it probably hurts, no doubt. So, Marcel says, Casey Xander's main point is satisfy hypergamy, show that you have more social value, being in no need for a relationship, limit attention, don't show validation, show that you're pre-selected, etc. Well, I guess that can be good advice. You know what I mean? Showing that you have more social value. Are women attracted to that? Yeah. Being in no need for a relationship. Are women attracted to that? They can be. Okay. It can be an attractive quality. Limit attention. That can be a way to drive up someone's attraction to you. Don't show validation. I mean, that one can be tricky because that can mean a lot of different things, all the way from never compliment her to don't like pay for a $500 dinner on the first date or whatever. So I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that one, but I mean, it can in some circumstances drive up attraction because the person is then like, desperate, but it can also drive down attraction in other circumstances. So I'll have to get more specifics on that. Show that you are pre-selected. I mean, that can help because, women that can drive up attraction as well. So, you know, there's different approaches you can take. Is this like a common one? Yeah. Could it help? Perhaps. So, yeah, that all seems kind of not terrible advice. What do you think of it, Martial? Miguel says, that's bullshit. Uh oh. Anurag says, hey, my question is, does a woman find it attractive if a man is possessive for her? Well, Anurag, they can find it attractive, but it depends how you do it. Okay, because you can take it way too far, and the women will find it unattractive. But in certain situations, yes, it can be an attractive quality rather than a guy's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, if, this guy tries to, like, steal you away from me, like, I don't care. Like, go for it. I'm the prize. You know what I mean? That can be very unattractive. Whereas if a guy says something like, if that guy touches you, I'm going to kill him or something, in kind of a lighthearted, joking way, but he's showing a little bit of true jealousy and possessiveness, a woman can feel, he cares. He really cares. And he would protect me from another man because he's dominant and masculine like that. So it can be kind of like an erotic trigger. Depends on the situation, but they can like it. And you can be overly possessive and you can be not possessive enough. You know what I mean? So Emmanuel says, hey Vicky, can you please do a video on how to get a girl you want if she is already in a relationship? Oh God. Oh Lord. I mean, I'm probably not gonna do a video on that, but in general, I would try to be your friend and then kind of make it clear that you're attracted to her, you're into her, and perhaps try to orchestrate a night where you could make a move. And then she'll have to be kind of forced to make the decision. Do I want to stay with the guy I'm with, who's not satisfying me or whatever? Or do I want to go with this new guy? Yeah, so I don't necessarily recommend you doing this, but if your heart is set on this girl, you know she's like the one for you, fine. Go for it. John Wick says, let me know your thoughts. What happens when a woman asks for space and then a month later ghosts you out of nowhere and then breaks up over text? What should a man do according to the female mind? Okay, well, I'm not really sure of this situation, but so is this a person? This is, I guess, the person you're in a relationship with, right? So she suddenly asked for space and you gave her space, but then she ghosts you? Well, wasn't she already kind of ghosting you because she asked for space, but maybe you were still texting? And then after she ghosts you, she breaks up. What should a man do according to the female mind? Well, I don't know what the issue was in this relationship, but it seems like she was really over it, you know? Because that's pretty like she was trying to like get away. So I don't know what you did, what the issues were, but in my opinion, this woman seems like so hell bent on getting out of there that perhaps there's not much you can do to salvage it, and why would you want to, honestly? But let me know what like the issue was in the relationship. Why is she asking for space? That would be like number one thing I need to know first. So Mr. Booyah says, you went viral. My bad. Haven't participated in a Q&A. I just know you as my non-pether life. Didn't realize I said this girl. You didn't even realize you said this girl? Come on now. But okay. Baxter Maxter says, hi, what made you cool with Mode 1? Well, I read the book, Baxter Maxter. It's a great book. You should read it. It's very good. And of course, I understand the power of dirty talk. One of my specialties. Yashar says, hi there. How can be someone tested for being interested in us as much as they want to date us? Okay, Yashar, how can someone? All right. Unfortunately, I can't really get this one. If anyone knows what Yashar was kind of meaning, let me know. How can I be someone tested for being interested? Okay, yeah, sure. I don't know what you're saying there. Sorry about that. So MM says, I can't believe I'm saying this at the risk of sounding like I'm glazing. You make the best dating content. I hope you can expand the content you make. Thank you, MM. But please, don't be afraid of a simple compliment. I appreciate it a lot. And trust me, so will everyone else you give a genuine compliment to. You know what I'm saying? I feel it's very sad that the red pill has made guys so scared of glazing, lol, or just complimenting people. You know, people can really appreciate praise, compliments. I certainly do, and I appreciate it genuinely. I don't think, oh, this guy's a simp. Simps. Come on now, please. But thank you, Drewski says, I've been told that I don't understand empathy. Well, Drewski, I mean, what do you think? I mean, perhaps do you think you have some kind of like empathy disorder, like sociopathy, antisocial personality disorder? Or do you think that, you know, you just got in an argument with someone who didn't have empathy for your point of view? Because, basically when we get in arguments with each other, it always seems if the person doesn't completely understand and validate your argument, they're just going to say, oh, you're gaslighting, you don't have empathy, you're a narcissist, whatever. And perhaps it's not so simple. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, this is a very common thing. I wouldn't take it personally. You don't agree with someone, you don't like their argument, they're mad, you don't have empathy. Well, perhaps you weren't being too empathetic in understanding their point of view, but that doesn't mean you can't, like, comprehend it. Unless you truly do think perhaps you are you have some, like, personality disorder, like, for example, like I said, sociopathy, psychopathy, something like that. So then, what do you think, Drewski? Let's see if okay. So then Steve says, Victoria, what are your favorite styles of clothing men can rock that you personally find attractive? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Um, well, I think it really depends on kind of like, your culture and like what kind of girl you're going for. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I grew up, it was like preppy central. Do you know what I'm saying? So the kind of girls were kind of going to be like expecting that look. Whereas if you grow up somewhere else, you might want to dress in the style of the girls you're trying to get what they find attractive. You know what I'm saying? So don't just blindly apply like what I find attractive to you because I think it's really more about how old are you? Who are you trying to get with? What's current, modern, and cool to the people you're trying to attract, you know? Um, yeah. What do you guys think? Anurag says, Victoria, how to be confident around women. Well, Anurag, I think the more you understand women and the more you understand what they want from men, the easier it is to be confident, which is what I try to teach you guys on this channel. Perhaps we'll do a few quizzes tonight, which can help you further your understanding. But in my opinion, that's big. Okay. I mean, I guess you can kind of do it from trial and error and just getting experience as well, just kind of getting out there. But yeah, I guess there's many different approaches. But ideally, confidence comes from you know what to do, you know what they expect, you know what the appropriate range of responses is, and there's no anxiety there because you pretty much know what's going to happen, what they want you to say, all this. So, yeah, you don't got anything to worry about because you know. You've tested it. You understand on a deep level. Then you're confident, right? It's like we're kind of still like, "Oh my god, what's going to happen? I don't know if this is the right move." Then we're unconfident. So anyway, what do you guys think? Any other tips? Mothership Luigi says, "Hi, good night. This girl I know since forever. She's with a guy physically identical to me, but she avoids every contact with me. My dad is the boss of his dad. I really love to romanticize her." Oh god. You need to focus on another girl. Okay, she's in a relationship. You can flirt with her if you want, but this is the problem of a guy who is not having a lot of options. Okay. The less options we have, the more we fixate, guys. It's simple science. When you have more options, you're interested in exploring those options and you're not fixated like this. So, especially on a girl who there's very little chance of anything happening with because she's in a relationship. So, if I were you, I'd be like heavily investing in dating coaching, trying to increase my options, be looksmaxing, trying to get on dates, trying to work on asking people out in person. And then, what do you know? This obsession with this girl will slowly fade because you'll be having really good, fun experiences with other girls, okay? So, Banter ABC says, Hey, Victoria, haven't catched alive in a while. Last time I only catched the last 10 minutes. Hello, Banter. Great to see you back. Um, Welcome. How's life? So then Okay. Steve is giving me a compliment. Thank you, Steve. Mothership Luigi says, okay. Okay. I will says, what do you think about a man who is unbound, unchained, or in those kind of sense generally, a man who does whatever he pleases? Well, it depends what you mean by that exactly. Does that mean he doesn't have a job? He's independently wealthy? Does it mean he doesn't want a relationship? Does it mean like he has no respect for social norms? I will like, can you elaborate? So, all right. Trustee of the Most High says, why do you hate poly? Families are stronger the bigger they are together. I do not hate poly at all. I actually think it's a great philosophy. Okay? I also like monogamy, but I think polyamory is like quite brilliant. So I don't see why you say I hate poly because that's far from the truth. So, where was I in the chat here? Uh, L says, I think I always broke them off first because. Okay. Okay. L, who super chatted me from before, he's talking about why he's only been in the short term relationships. He says, I think I always broke them off first because I thought for some reason they always wanted to leave me first. It's rough. Never found my soulmate, but I don't think there is such a thing anymore. I think two humans will always be different and we need to learn to compromise. I always wanted a teammate, but instead I felt like they were competing me. Well, I agree. I mean, two humans will always be different and they will have to learn to like negotiate that. I totally agree. And you thought they always wanted to leave you first, so you broke it off before they could break it off with you. That is rough, hell. Oh gosh, that is not good, but don't give up yet. I mean, I think you can find something longer term. Well, thanks for sharing, Al. And now we got a super chat from David Gonzalez. Thank you so much, David. Great to see you. We got the wise man here tonight to enlighten us all. So he says, just happy to see you. You are a delightful YouTube presence. Thank you so much, David. I really appreciate it. Um, Same to you. All right, guys. Thanks again to David for that great super chat. Let me know, guys. Should we go into a quiz or should we continue just going through the chat real quick? Because I probably be getting a little tired soon, but let's see. I'll just read a few more. Marcel says, Casey Xander said also to create drama since women like a man that communicates and generates with emotions to always be doing physical stuff and movement like men in prehistory. What the That's great. So what are you supposed to do? Just constantly be like hauling a rock and like throwing it and like sharpening like a spear? Or what kind of prehistorical stuff is he recommending people do? It's wild, but okay. Um so John Wick says, here's a situation. What would you want your ex to do if you bump into him sometime? Honestly, like what I would want is for him just be like, "Oh, hey, like how's it going?" and everything. Like, what's new with you? Just a little quick chat, catch up, and move on. You know what I'm saying? But I'm in a relationship, so I'm over my ex, but it depends which ex, because like, my first boyfriend, I'd love to have like a lunch with him where we really catch up. You know what I'm saying? Others, I'm just like, hey, haha, how's life? Okay, oh, bye, That would be fine for other situations, but what do you think, John Wick? And is this in order to get her back or just to be polite and cordial? So then on Casey Xander is also saying, show that you are a broke man inside, like Christian Grey. Oh God, to activate maternal instincts. Well, that can be a good strategy, which I have seen a lot of guys use, especially on dating shows. It can be a very manipulative tactic, which kind of can give like a female gaze explanation of why a guy can't commit. It's like, "Oh, I've just been so hurt in the past that like I have commitment issues." And they're like, "Oh, makes so much sense. Really, the guy just doesn't want to be in a relationship or whatever." So, yeah, that's definitely a dirty technique to speak to the female gaze, and and I don't like it, but guys do it. So, oh, we got another super chat from Nani. Thank you so much, Nani. He says, I remember a good quote I read on Fet Life, guys. The woman said, I can build a stair of dicks to the moon and back, but I just want one man to understand me. Ain't that the truth, Nani? That is a wonderful female gaze quote. That very well sums up how a lot of women feel. And I actually have a lot of quizzes relating to exactly what you're saying from the female gaze. That's exactly how women feel, because they feel, and this is something that men can't really understand, is a typical male blind spot for many guys, okay? Because men are very focused on sex because they don't really have the opportunity for sex. They don't have sexual freedom. They just kind of have to like work so hard to have sex. It's like almost this impossible climb or whatever. Whereas for women, it's the opposite, okay? Because there's so much competition for sex on the male side, for women, it's just like taking candy from a baby, literally. So that's exactly how they feel. I can build a stair of dicks to the moon and back. It's so true. But what women want, and this is something that men F up all the time on like dating apps and stuff, is someone who can see beyond her beauty, attractiveness, hotness, sexiness, but who actually enjoys her personality. In other words, her soul, who truly sees her. When women say, I want some guy who sees me, that's what they mean, who understands her, okay, who can see beyond. Wow, I'd really love to stick my dick inside of you. Please? Pretty please? Okay. So that is a wonderful explanation of the female gaze, and something that is very core to understanding the differences between what men and women are kind of going into dating thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so many men over and over just falling off a cliff like lemmings because they're just like, here's my dick, here's my dick, here's my dick, here's my dick. And they're just crashing and burning. You know what I'm saying? So, this is a wonderful quote to understand. Yes, women like sex too, but the idea of a man just wanting them just for sex is triggering to them. Okay, it will come off as kind of like a microaggression to a lot of them. Not every single woman who's ever walked the face of the earth, guys, but this is just definitely a large pattern here. But that doesn't mean they don't like sex, they don't have a sex drive, they don't want to have sex, they don't like dicks in the moment. But it does mean that if you just lead with, here's my dick in a box or whatever, they're going to be like, ugh, I just want one man. Is there one man on freaking planet Earth who can see beyond that? So, yeah, wonderful. I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Nani. Very awesome quote. And thanks again for your super chat. So, and Marcel says some other Casey Xander stuff. Also, he says that women are always testing and will never love a man like the movies sell the idea. I don't agree with that, but perhaps they may not understand kind of like the male gaze conception of how men want to be loved because they have their own kind of version of that, the female gaze version. So I'm not sure what he's getting at with that, but I mean, I could see why perhaps he might think that. And then he says, and to create jealousy. I mean, these are all kind of like age old seduction tactics. So It's not like they don't work, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like any way to live, to be honest, but it can be good in the beginning stages of dating, I guess, used right, but we'll see what I don't know what how he's phrasing it all, but so King Slee says, "Yo, I went on 5 dates in 2 months or so. The first 3 ended in hugs/nothing. I watched 2 or 3 of your videos, and the last 2 girls were layups. Just wanted to say thank you." That's incredible, King Sleeves. I am very happy for you, and I hope you guys had a mutually enjoyable experience. That's wonderful. So what did you do differently from when you were getting hugs only to when you were getting these layups? What tips helped you? Thanks for sharing, King Sleeves. So, okay, guys, shall we do a quiz before I have to go? Okay, now he wants the quiz. All right. All right, guys. Oh, Kingsley says he made sure to ramp up the touching slowly. Nice, Kingsley. The runway, wonderful. And complimented her. Wonderful, because as you can see, that is not a popular idea, but in my opinion, it's very essential. All right, guys. Absolutely wonderful, Kingsley. I'm very happy for you, honestly. All right, guys, so let me get out your first quiz question. All right, guys, here's your first quiz question. Okay, everybody, let's prep for the quiz. All right, so if you're still here, get those, as I always say, dunce caps on your head. Get your pencils out and then put them down again because it's 2024. And put your thinking caps on. I guess it might not work with the dunce cap, but because we're about to quiz you on your knowledge of the female gaze. Okay? What level are you? Are you kindergarten? Are you first grade? Are you second grade? Are you third grade? Or are you a PhD student in the female gaze, guys? I don't know. Some of you guys may be more like pre-K, and some of you guys may be like, an, a professor at the university. So we'll see. All right, guys. So here we go. This is a screenshot of a dating message of messages on a dating app. Okay, and here's the situation. So this is from a girl's friend. So her friend, this guy suggested a date. Her friend suggested a different cafe option. Okay, and here's what the guy responded. And I want to know, is it good or bad? Okay? Was this guy being a high value man who Casey Xander would approve of? Or was he blowing it? Okay, here we go. So this guy responds to her proposing a different option for a date, different cafe, with this. The kind of girl I'm looking for would say, "Yes, great, see you there," to my offer. She would then show up on time. We would have a drink there. Then, if the vibe was good, walk to my place, hooked up, and potentially have something good together on a regular basis. Any other response to me shows either low interest/respect or a tendency to be masculine, bossy, potential for future power struggles, etc. I like my girls to be feminine, submissive, cooperating, happy for the opportunities I create. Was that a good response? Okay. Did he show he's a dom? Did he show he's an alpha male? Did he show, "No, you don't treat me like that. You respect me." Okay? So, get in your answers. Was it good or bad? And for extra credit, for those aspiring to be elementary school level, what was the issue with his response specifically? Okay. I'll read it one more time and tell me, like, if you can, specifically, was there any issues with the response or specifically what was good about his response? Okay, guys, either way. Either way. So his response again was, the kind of girl I'm looking for would say, yes, great, see you there to my offer. She would then show up on time. We would have a drink there. Then, if the vibe was good, walk to my place, hooked up, and potentially have something good together on a regular basis. Any other response to me shows either low interest slash respect or a tendency to be masculine, bossy, potential for future power struggles. I like my girls to be feminine, submissive, cooperating, happy for the opportunities I create. Was this Andrew Tate, like, incognito or what, guys? Was it good or bad? All right, you got 5 more seconds. Get your answers in. I'm about to grade you. Okay. Let's see. So, Russell Cameron, wait. So, Talvin says, oof. Joshua Burns says he already blew it. Russell Cameron says, OMG, Barfo. Talvin, bad. lol, L, WTF, Kevin Pringle, thumbs down, Taco Man, no, so bad, Joshua Burns sounds like a dork, Drewski, no, Kingsley's neckbeard, L says, how TF am I still single, that was horrible, Nestor Valentino, oh, extra credit for the teacher's pet, Nestor Valentino, he says, Question 1, situation. Guy suggests a date at location. Girl suggests a different location for the date. Guy says the kind of girl I'm looking for is submissive, feminine, and cooperative. Thank you, Nesta, for that. Wonderful, wonderful. IDK says, dude is a fraud, pretending to be something he is, and Red Wave's horrible. Joshua Burns, what? Too much bullshit. Banter ABC, he's outcome dependent, so no. Explain that, Banter. Kevin says, it was gay. Miguel says, reactive, anorak, no one can compete, Uncle Casey Xander. What is that supposed to mean? Boom Bucker says, mid, too dom, too early. Okay. Red Wiz, he's got a massive ego, thinks he has power. And then bad response, he showed he was too rigid and buzzkill. Joshua, all this bullshit for a change of venue, lol. Exactly, Joshua. Taco Man, his red pill mentality. Exactly, Taco. Boombucker, bad. Donovan, he will never hear from her again. I will read you what she said to him after, Donovan, to show if you are right or wrong as soon as I get done with this. Elle says, first off, who the hell is going to sign up for that? Secondly, I wouldn't want to be with someone who would act positively towards that. Good point. Russell Cameron Thomas says, terrible response because it's all about him and shows no interest or regard to her. Is she even into this shit? Great point, Russell Cameron Thomas. Renew the R wand. Hello. He says, terrible. Went straight to sex, too demanding, totally disregards the woman. I got to give my first A of the night to that because that was very specific. That was great. Nestor says, bad answer. His response was a little too in the face. He should have shown his dominance and alphaness during the date. He could have been more playful with it. I agree, Nestor. It's a show me, don't tell me. Show, don't tell. The age-old wonderful phrase. It's so important and so true. Banter ABC. He focuses on action instead of situations which naturally leads to the action. Oh, I like that. Another way of saying show, don't tell. Just like focus on the actions showing instead of the situations. Well, I'm not sure if I got that perfect, but yeah. David says, bad, too demanding thinking, too far forward. It's just a date. Go with her suggestion. Very true. We're going to give another A to that because it's very important to just go with her suggestion. A lot of guys make that mistake because, they say, oh, the woman wants you to lead, so make sure to suggest a date and a plan. But then if the woman responds to you suggesting the date and the plan with like, oh, can we do this instead or whatever? That's great. Just go with it and be like, oh yeah, of course. That doesn't make you less of a man or less of a leader or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So Tall says, I don't see anything wrong besides the whole expectation of the girl having sex with him, else he doesn't respect him. Uh-oh, Tallest. Straight to kindergarten, Tallest, because that was bad. Trustee of the Most High says, he sounds like he's attacking her ship blindfolded. What does that mean? Attacking her ship blindfolded? That's interesting. IDK says, a true Dom wouldn't even send a text like that in any kind of context. 100% IDK. If/when a true Dom wants to send a Dom vibe text, it's a lot more new and subtle. Very true. King Sleeve says, safety first, then teamwork. I like that. I like that. That's so true. Joseph says, yep, no need to ask for submissive. She will be naturally submissive if he can show masculine polarity. 100%, Joseph. I'm going to give you an A for that. That is true. Elle says, if she always wants it her way, then yeah, have boundaries, but it's too much to be that demanding right off the bat. He sounds correct. Yeah, I agree. David Gonzalez says, my date tonight suggested a different restaurant. It was totally fine. It made her happy. 100%. And women expect the guy to basically be a gentleman in the sense of, oh, yes, whatever you want. So it's kind of like this, perhaps maybe a little bit tricky for guys, because it's like being dominant is actually making her feel comfortable going with what she likes, but at the same time, you are kind of suggesting the date ideas so she doesn't have to think about it, plan it. She can just kind of accept. It's almost like you're a dance partner in ballroom dancing. You're still a gentleman. You still allow the lady to go in front of you. You don't say, you must follow my lead and be submissive because you are my dance partner. No, you're very kind of like old fashioned and like, ladies first, my dear. Do you know what I mean? But a woman still finds this dominant and being a leader. Okay, so you don't have to be Andrew Tate. Like if Andrew Tate was doing ballroom dance, he would probably like just, it would be hilarious. That would actually be an interesting idea for like a dance kind of like performance, because he'd be like way too demanding. Anyway, you guys get what I'm saying. So now I will tell you what the woman responded. Okay? So the woman said, yep, it's for the best. The kind of guy I'm looking for would say, dot, 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 remarkably less sociopathic things. Lol, good luck. Yeah. So, guys, she hated it, obviously, and pretty much every single woman in the world will hate it. Now, specifically, what I think is really bad about this, you guys gave me some great answers, okay? I think you're almost all of you are in elementary school for sure. Um, some people mentioned this, okay? First massive glaring error, okay, and there's a lot, so that's saying a lot, is then if the vibe was good, we would have walked to my place, hooked up, and potentially have something good together on a regular basis. That is crazy to a woman, okay? That is absolutely crazy because it's like you're basically assuming my consent before we've even met. You're assuming that I would want to hook up with you, that I would want to have some kind of long-term, casual, no strings attached thing. That's almost like insulting to a woman, okay? Because it's like, why would I, you know, and also it's showing that he has no skills with women. Because like many of you guys said in the chat, the guys who have skills with women show and do not need to tell or demand. As my boyfriend once said, be someone who inspires a woman to be feminine, submissive, cooperating, and happy for the opportunities you create, not someone who demands it. Okay? These demands never work. Okay? Especially, well, perhaps they work, in some kind of toxic entanglement deep into a relationship, but they never work in the beginning where she has no reason to see this guy on a date. She has so many other options that if a guy is just kind of like demanding, rude, and disrespectful, she does not need him. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of funny because that is what somebody said. I'm going to give you an A plus for this red pill mentality in a nutshell. And you can see then what it is taken to literally, it backfires big time. Okay. I'm not saying that if he didn't say those things out loud and simply knew how to demonstrate them rather than demanding them, they might not have some impact. But demanding it just shows you are ignorant. You are a virgin, basically. No offense to any virgins out there, okay? So, anyway, guys, great answers. You did well on this one, except for some of you, but hopefully you learned. All right. I'm just reading a few more things you've written in the chat there. Nestor says that guy's not getting laid. He didn't get laid. Exactly. Taco Man says, I love your sense of humor and the way you explain things. Thanks, Victoria. Oh, thank you, Taco Man. That's so nice. Great compliment. Thank you. All right. Okay, guys, should we go to the next quiz question? MM says, this was fun. Everyone have a great night. Goodbye, MM. Thanks for participating. Hope to see you again. Joseph says, I discovered you just a couple days ago, but your channel is gold. I'm in pickup for like 10 years, so I feel quite confident to judge your information. You are incredible. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Joseph. Amazing. So how was your experience in the pickup world for 10 years? All right, guys. So shall we do the next quiz question? I will find it for you, okay? All right. There's a bunch of good ones here, but some are just too easy for y'all because you have proved yourselves. Okay, guys, here's a good one. All right. It's a triggering one, but it's an important one. And hopefully none of you guys, well, my lips are sealed, okay, because I don't want to influence you. So Tola says, basically, should a man be okay sharing his first time date in a Latin dance floor? I would, Tully's, but I would make sure to kind of like cut in if the other guy and her started getting too heated up. I would kind of make sure that she doesn't spend the entire night with other guys, but I would be okay with her, dancing with other people. So anyway, all right, guys. So this is a series of messages from a guy who, well, it's the girl screenshotted it, and she said that she was on a date with this guy, and on the date, he mentioned that she was not a 10. Okay? So this is the message conversation after this happened. Okay? So he goes, thanks. I'll put it here. Thanks for the great evening. It was awesome to meet you. Bonne nuit. And then this is the girl in the purple. It was nice to meet you too. Thanks for dinner. And then he goes, would you like to do this again? You seem to be eager to leave. I wonder why. Then she said, I didn't think you were interested in me. He says, what makes you say that? She says, do you remember saying to me that you don't think I'm a 10? He says, yes. She says, I don't think I am either, by the way. It was just so out of left field. and felt odd to have someone say it to me. Then he says, "Okay, I am sorry about that." She said, "I'm good with who I am and how I look. I don't look at people and judge them in 1 to 10 based on 1 to 10 in looks. I just didn't understand." He goes, "I agree. I should have had more tact there. I apologize. It was more meant as a joke than anything else. I am not a 10 either, and we are more than looks, that's for sure." Now, this contains a very typical male blind spot. What is that blind spot? Okay, guys? And especially, I want you to focus on this because I recently see guys making this mistake. We are more than looks, that's for sure. Will a girl respond positively or negative to this idea of, hey, it's not all about looks. You don't have to be a 10. Maybe you're a 5.5. And guess what? I'm an 8. You're a 5.5. Or whatever this guy thinks he is, okay? Will a girl understand this? Will a girl say, "You're right. You know, no one's perfect except perhaps, whatever celebrity you like the most. Um, I'm not a 10. And guess what? Looks aren't everything. Looks fade. When we get older, we're all ugly and hideous anyway, and we lose sexual attraction for each other." Will girls respond to this? And is it a smart idea to say, "Hey, I like you for you," not just, "Oh, you're a perfect 10 and you're sexy"? Isn't that the female gaze? Yes or no? And why not? Okay? So let's get your answers in. This is a bit of a tricky one, okay? But it's something very crucial to understanding the female gaze, okay? Because if we know anything about men, we know they freaking love the 1 to 10, as I like to call it, black pill rating scale. Do women feel the same about it? Okay. Should I read the messaging thing one more time or have you guys got it? All right, I'll read just one more time. "Thanks for the great evening. It was awesome to meet you. It was nice to meet you too. Thanks for dinner. Would you like to do this again? You seemed eager to leave. I didn't think you were interested in me. What makes you say that? Do you remember saying to me that you don't think I'm a 10? Yes. I don't think I am either, by the way. It was just so out of left field and felt odd to have someone say it to me. Okay, I am sorry about that. I am good with who I am and how I look. I don't look at people and judge them based on 1 to 10 in looks. I just didn't understand. I agree. I should have had more tact there. I apologize. It was more meant as a joke than anything else. I am not a 10 either, and we are more than looks, that's for sure." All right, guys, get your answers in. This is a tough one, guys, and it will definitely be on the final exam. All right. You got 5 more seconds. Let us read. Okay. So Warren Cornwall says, oh, well, let's go to the people who are doing the quiz. But how much of a man's sex appeal is important for women? It's important, Warren. So then Joshua says, why would you tell her you use a rating system? Elle says, horrible. These guys think they're negging like it's 1996 with Neil Strauss. LMAO. Exactly. Boombucker says, no, dis bad. Okay, covers. Hello. IDK, nah. Why would he say something like that? That's absolutely bonkers. My lips are sealed. Joshua says, don't even talk about that shit. Trusty of the Most High says, women are not a fucking number. They are the most beautiful being in the world. We got a female gaze expert. I'm going to give you an A+ on the female gaze for that. Donovan Bradley says, no. He insulted her and didn't even realize it, and he doesn't know what tact is, so she may now think he's a dumbass. Donovan, I'm going to give you an A+ for that as well. Yes. Yes, he insulted her. Okay. I'm just going to reveal it right now, guys. All right. He insulted her, like Donovan said, and he didn't even realize it. 100%. Mr. Booyah says, you basically got to worship them, but explaining statistical reality is not a turn on to them because their opportunities outweigh statistical reality. If you want to view it like that, it's not very female gaze friendly, but perhaps if that's how you want to understand it, I'm going to give you a B for that because there's some good points in there. Kingsley says, I told the last girl, hey, I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way, but looking at your pictures, I thought you were a 6, but after meeting you, seeing the whole package, you're an 8. I hope that's a freaking joke, Kingsley, really, because that's just as bad. Joshua says he just wants to bang. And is he going to get to bang? That's the question. Fuck no, Joshua, he's not. Saunders Sailing says he made her feel like she's not pretty enough. A plus, Saunders Sailing. Yes, 100%. L says, how would you feel if she said she usually goes for taller guys with a bigger D? LMAO. Great point, L. Or what if she said on a date, like, you know, you just don't really have the potential to, like, be a success in life or something, but, like, that's okay. Success isn't everything. You know what I mean? Kinda triggering some male gaze sensitivity, like beauty is a female gaze sensitivity. So, you know, you're just kinda really hitting below the belt with that one. Like, oh, like, when you came back from the bathroom, let's go with yours, Elle. I noticed your dick isn't that big, but dick size isn't everything. I mean, sex isn't everything in a relationship, right? Being sexually attracted to your partner and, like, desiring them isn't everything, right? Yeah, I mean, of course you know that. I don't know. So Joshua says, got it. Uh, where are we here? MM says he came off as superficial and unable to see beyond looks. 100%, and that's only the 1/4 of it. Okay, Kara says, what is the question? The question is, what is wrong with what he said? Why isn't looks aren't everything a wonderful, reassuring thought to a woman? Boombucker says, he said looks don't matter, but they do. She took it as an insult. Yeah. Warren Cornwall says, don't you think in real life most women aren't thinking about getting a top man or some guy with high status? Uh, well, I'm not really sure what that has to do with this one, but Banter ABC says, looks don't matter that much. He thinks with his visual male brain what the female emotion, not this emotional brain, whatever. Hey, Zoramina. Welcome, Zoramina. Guys, we got a real live woman in the chat. I don't know if you caught that last question, Zoramina. But yeah, this is something a woman can understand, and probably 99% of men cannot understand. But we did get a few who understood, so. Kingsley says he shouldn't be apologizing. Either lean into it or don't. Don't pick a square, yo. Kingsley, I have to disagree with you. Hardcore on that one. Russell Cameron says even if he's joking, he shows that he's judgmental about looks, and women don't like that, no matter how good they look. Well, I'm going to have to give you a B- for that, because even if he's joking, no, you don't joke about that, Russell Cameron Thomas. You joke about that, you die. You literally die in the mind of a woman, okay? This woman, I don't know if she has like super low self-esteem, but she was tolerating it way more than most women. This woman posted it in a group, and everyone was just like, fuck this guy, block him, what are you doing, get the F out. Okay, so this one was like insanely tolerant. Even she wasn't okay with it. But yeah, so never joke about that. David Gonzalez says, it sounds like he is settling for her terrible. Never bring up a 1 to 10 scale. A+ for that, David. That is really at the core of it. Sounds like he is settling for her. That is how a woman will perceive it. Okay? Because if they don't feel you think they are a 10, they will think, well, let's say he rated her a 7, okay? So there's probably like hundreds of thousands of women who are 8, hundreds of thousands of women who are 9s, and hundreds of thousands of women who are 10s. So she's got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of women competition. That's how a woman is kind of feeling about it. So she's just like, what's even the point? Because the way a woman sees like a 10, it's kind of like a combination of personality plus beauty. And the way a man sees a 10 is she looks perfect to the masculine gaze, and my dick is hard. And I would love to have the chance to fuck this woman who's like, you know, a prize among society and has like, scientific perfection of beauty or whatever. Okay, so they just don't see it the same way because those things aren't as important. I'm not saying beauty isn't important to women. I'm not saying looks aren't important to women. They are, okay? But it's just slightly different the way they're thinking about it. So then William Montague says, "We are more than looks. Absolutely not okay. You are suggesting, hopefully inadvertently rather than intentionally, that she is unattractive and that you are not moved by her beauty." I'm going to give you an A plus on that one, William Montague. Yes. Mr. Bouya says, "Sometimes it can work if the woman does think she's a 10, which most do." You should see the 10 in her. Okay. That is how you will get the best results sexually. You will get the best results emotionally. You will get the best results on your date. Okay. If you can see the beauty, the perfection in what she looks like, everything will go better. Okay. Guaranteed. Zormina says, "If I'm not a 10 to you and you're dating me, what do you think of yourself?" Well, I mean, that is definitely a very female gaze kind of way to see it. However, most guys don't feel they can date 10. So they try to date, they see a model or whatever, and there's no way that this model wants to date them. So they kind of know, yeah, they know where they rank. You know what I'm saying? Because they know that they have not looked maxed enough or they're not good looking enough to get someone who's very attractive. I mean, women don't necessarily see this, but the men know basically that they're not a 10 and they're not gonna get a 10. You know what I'm saying? But like Zoramina is saying, women do not know this and they do not want to hear this. So, all right. So then Taco Man says, "No one would ever want to be judged, but then this guy goes on and does it. First, she tells her she's not pretty, and he pretends to date her and then goes, oh, but looks don't matter. Double. Yep, Taco Man, A plus." Aldo says, "The date ends when he says the 10 scale topic." Very true, Aldo. "Girls don't like the negativity about their looks or weight." Exactly, Aldo. Very elegantly said. A plus for that. It's true. It's very true. That's actually very deep, what you wrote. Their looks and their weight is a trigger for most girls. So any negativity about it is going to backfire. Okay. Um L says, "Well, it shows that he doesn't care about her emotions or value her in any way. He reduced her to a number and a visual object to be used. It is slightly insulting and dehumanizing at the same time." That's very female gaze. I'm gonna give you A plus for that, L. Yes, that's how women will see it. Totally says, "You need to like her more than just her looks." Yes, however, they want you to like them for their looks. So that's kind of what he tried to do at the end, where he's like, "Oh, but don't worry, we're more than looks." And it backfired big time as well. Joshua Burns says, It's really not all that complicated. You guys think too much. You just have to keep swinging until you." Okay, well, I don't know what this thought negativity is, Joshua, but on this channel, we enjoy having thoughts and thinking. So, underthinkers perhaps may not find this channel too interesting because they, wow, what is all this yapping and discussion? Just be yourself. All right. Okay, go ahead and do it if you can. So, anyway, hey Levi. All right. Blaze says, I am considering my grade as an F. You did not read my comment. I didn't even see that, Blaze. Sorry. Sometimes YouTube like censors different things. I didn't even see you so far. So sorry about that. All right, guys. So I will give you my comment. You guys already made some great points on it. Okay. But yeah, basically, this is suicide. Okay. This is terrible. You guys, I actually think the 1 to 10 scale is useful. Okay. And I know guys absolutely love it. All right. However, never, ever mention the 1 to 10 scale with the woman. Never. Okay. Under no circumstances. Unless you want to like burn in a fiery like pit for eternity. Okay. You will destroy. It's like why am I thinking of the story of King Midas? Everything you touch will turn stone cold gold, dead. Okay? Don't do it. All right? Because first of all, women are not even they don't know about this one. They know guys talk about it, but among women it never comes up. Okay? Because like somebody said, and I gave him a A plus for this, women are very sensitive about their looks, okay? Because like men are valued for what they can produce for society and how useful they can be and like how much money they can make, right? That's kind of how like society dehumanizes men in a way. Well, society does the same thing to women, but reduces them to basically their beauty. So it's a sensitive topic for girls. So girls are trying to build themselves up because they have a lot of insecurity about not looking perfect enough. And basically, girls are thinking in their head this kind of idea that if I'm not beautiful enough, I will never be loved. Okay. So therefore, if a guy calls a girl, well, you're a six. What? That's good. That's better than average. The girl is thinking, I will never be loved. Basically, like deep down subconsciously, because there's sevens, there's eights, there's nines, there's 10. So they're all better than me. So girls are trying to build themselves up by saying, I'm a 10. I'm beautiful the way I am. Okay. Because that's what they need to do. It's like a guy telling himself, you know, you know, I'm a short king or whatever. It's like, being short is like a disadvantage, but you're calling yourself a king anyway. You know what I'm saying? So girls are trying to build themselves up, and that's why they're insisting, no, I'm beautiful the way I am, and someone's going to find me beautiful. I'm a 10. So you saying, no, you're not. You're actually 9.87 or whatever she is just going to trigger her, going to negatively affect her. She doesn't even want to like go there because in order to survive in like female culture, she's had to basically have confidence in the sense of I am beautiful. Okay? So it's kind of like guys who maybe they're not really like all that successful, but they're just like, well, I better not show any insecurity and I better be confident no matter what. That's what girls are doing. So when you try to point it out, oh, you're not as good looking as you think you are, they're just gonna get defensive as hell. Okay. And they're not even gonna want to think about it. So, does that make sense? So, and then there's one more aspect to it, which is that when a girl thinks about like the rating scale, like I said, it's looks plus personality. Okay. So, the guy they want to be with them, they want that guy to think, okay, perhaps her face isn't perfectly symmetrical and youthful, and perhaps she has some wrinkles or gray hair or whatever. But combined with who she is deep down as a person, it's better than anybody else on planet Earth. Okay? So when you guys want to speak the female gaze, you should remember that. And you should realize that in the female gaze, the 1 to 10 scale is different. Okay? 10 means beauty plus personality equals something unique and special. Okay? It doesn't just mean it makes my dick the hardest. Okay? It will give me the most societal validation. No. So anyway, guys, I just thought this was a great example, okay? Because guys fucking love the 1 to 10 rating scale. They cannot get enough of it, and they're putting their foot in their mouth constantly. And recently, there was an example of this on The Bachelorette season, where there was a fucking amazingly looksmaxed guy, okay, by the name of Semen. This guy was so good looking on the first night. People were saying, this guy should be in a movie. This guy should be in Top Gun 2 or whatever, or 3, whatever it is now. Okay, everyone thought he was so good looking. He got the first impression rose, meaning the Bachelorette thought he was the most attractive guy there. She was so sexually attracted to him. She was so into him. She wanted him to win the show. However, he put his foot in his mouth with this exact male blind spot because the Bachelorette asked him, "What do you like about me?" Basically, speak to me in the female gaze. Why do you love me? Why do you want to be with me? What's special about me? What do you see about me? What do you see about my personality? He couldn't say anything other than, "You're hot." But then he tried to speak the female gaze by saying, "Hey, like, you're not even that hot. Like, other girls are hotter than you. But isn't that a good thing? Because, like, you care about personality, right?" Which just insulted the Bachelorette. Because, like I said, it's looks plus personality. She wants to be a 10 in looks, basically. But with personality, it like takes her over the edge, basically. So this guy tried to say the same thing, which is, "We are more than looks, that's for sure." It backfired big time. Every single girl in America was like, "What the fuck was he just saying?" And they got so mad. So I'm trying to tell you guys this so that you don't make the same mistake. And trust me, some of y'all out there cannot help yourselves. So learn, please educate yourself. All right. Does that make sense? Human Kirk, this advice comes across as having to lie to women. Come on now. Why do you guys always jump to lying? Yeah, it's so fucking hard to actually like a person for who they are plus their looks. I fucking hate that stupid comment. You do not have to lie to women. If you lie to women, that's your choice. Okay? If you want to understand the way they're thinking about it, you can. But if you want to just lie, go ahead and lie because you're going to lie anyway. All right? It's stupid, honestly. Okay. We got super chat from David Gonzalez. He says, first of all, thank you, David. And he says, "A woman who is on a date with you should be the most beautiful woman in the world to you. There are no other women who come close." David, that is what women would want, okay? Now, would you be lying? Because what Scarlett Johansson exists, or whoever the hot person is nowadays. Okay, supposedly she used to be the most desirable celebrity. But, oh no, has she hit the wall? Whoever you guys think is hot, the hottest. Margot Robbie. Oh no, she's mid. Whoever you guys think is hot, okay? Um, does the fact that that person exists mean that you cannot see the beauty in your date? What do you think, David? Obviously, David can, but is he lying? Is he manipulating? I'm not suggesting you are, David, but I'm just saying, how do you do it without lying and manipulating according to Human Kirk? That's the only way. I'm curious, David. Um, I don't think it's freaking that hard. If someone looks attractive, their personality affects things, okay? Together, you can really appreciate them. Wow, they are special. Wow, they are unique. Wow, they're great. Why is that so hard for you guys? I'm curious, honestly. Thank you so much, David, for your great female gaze knowledge and very generous super chats. Thank you. Renew the R wand. Thank you so much. He says, "Hi Vic, what's your opinion of using shirtless pics on a dating profile? I'm not even sure if such pics are technically allowed, but I've been working out consistently for the last several years and have a decent physique." Renew the R wand. That's a good question. Probably a question for like an AI. I mean, a lot of women, they find the shirtless selfie like very douchey and they'll be like, oh, not another shirtless selfie. But I'm sure some women are like, damn, he's got abs. I don't fucking care. That's the black pill for you. You know what I'm saying? But if you do have a good physique, it should be able to come off in clothes. You know what I'm saying? Or perhaps maybe a pic of you at the beach where it'd be kind of like socially appropriate for you to have a shirt off. So that would probably be like best of both worlds, right? People could see, oh, nice, he's got a great body. But it's like, but he's at the beach. Of course he's shirtless. You know, he's not just trying to be like, yo, I'm sure you'll want to hook up with me because I have abs. So, yeah. But it should also come off like in clothes. Like if you're just wearing like a work shirt or whatever, um, women will kind of be able to say, "Oh, okay, yeah, he looks attractive." Like it will just come off attractive, even if they don't see the definition in your 10 pack or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? What's been your experiences? L says, first of all, thank you so much, L. And he says, I think some of the men fall into the trap of pretending to be higher value than they are by degrading women as if they can't see right through that BS. Yep, hell, indeed. And the sad thing is, a lot of women can't see right through it, but a lot of women can. And I feel like in increasing numbers, they actually can. Okay, they're wising up to the whole negging thing. Because, like, before in these groups I'm in and stuff, it would only be a few women who'd be like, "Have you heard of a thing called negging?" And everyone's like, "Negging? I'm shocked. I'm horrified. What is this? I've never heard of such a thing. Wow, men are trash." But now it's like hundreds and hundreds of women being like, "It's negging, it's negging, it's negging." So, you know, word has spread. And yeah, women are seeing through it a lot better. And yes, I agree. A lot of men know that perhaps their only chance is to pretend to be higher value than they are because they feel so insecure and they feel like they're so low value deep down. And they think that by not complimenting women or by taking it even further and degrading women, that perhaps the woman won't know just how much higher he perceives her in value, right? But like you said, unfortunately for them, more women see right through it now. And they'll just block you and delete you. Okay. And you'll just have wasted all your time, perhaps money. So, yeah, great point out. Totally says, what's your view on Sadia Khan about high value women, etc.? So I've only seen like a few clips of her toys, but every time I see her, I don't like her at all. At all. But even my dad sent a clip to me of her. So I'm sure she's like highly appealing to men because she really caters to the male gaze and seems like she really likes this benevolent sexism stuff. So I can see why she appeals to men, but I don't like her at all. Whenever I see her, I'm like, not this girl again. What do you think of her? IDK says, here's a perfect example. Guys, don't do this. Margot Robbie, 6 out of 10. For real, would have to work really hard to actually earn a spot on my roster. Be so fucking for real right now, IDK. You guys love to play fantasy football with women, okay? Women who would never, ever, ever fuck you, You love to just imagine in an ideal world, you would have your pick and you could rate them and say, "Oh no, not for me." But in reality, if Margot Robbie wanted to suck your dick, okay, would you say, "Oh no, you're just a 6 out of 10. You will have to work really hard to do that." Who do you think you are fooling, guys? It's ludicrous, it's hilarious, but it's annoying too at the same time, and women fucking hate it, I will tell you that. Alright, guys. I'm getting heated tonight. I'm literally sweating because I'm getting so heated. Oh god. Renew the R wand. Thank you so much, Renew the R wand, for your super chat. And he says, "Could you give us some examples of what would be a good dating profile bio? How much and what info to include?" That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't have some good screenshot examples off the top of my head here, but I have screenshotted some in the past. Well, guys, as we know, the most important thing will be pictures, okay? That will make or break you. But then on top of that, you can lose it. Let's say, they already select you because you look good. But then they read your profile, and if it sucks, they will swipe left on you still. Well, not everyone, okay? Not some girls who are like highly motivated by looks, like they won't fucking care. But a lot of girls who are less motivated by looks, still, they want guys who look good, but it's not everything to them. They will read the profile. So it is important, but it's obviously not as important as pictures. So, in a good dating profile, it's short, okay? It doesn't say anything sexual because that will turn off a lot of women. It doesn't say anything too critical. I mean, these are kind of all standard like dating tips, but I don't have an example off the tip, of my head because people do different kinds of good profiles. Like I did a consultation with a guy yesterday and he sent me, or a few days ago, he sent me his online dating profile. It was very good. I wish I could just read you his, but I would probably be violating his privacy there. But his was short. It was just kind of like three little sections and he had good pics and it was working for him, you know. Um but yeah. If you want, Renew the R wand because you super chatted me. Send me a screenshot of your dating profile bio and I'll look at it. I'll see if I have any tips for you. Just email me my nonlittlerlife@gmail.com. So Tully says, "My question is, do women like her, the Sadia Khan thing, exist in the real world, or they only get submissive in a male gaze type of way because she expects providers?" Yeah. I mean, that Sadia woman strikes me as almost like Shira's Seven, like in full disguise. Like she wants a rich guy, so she's willing to like cater her entire looks and personality to the male gaze and kind of tailor everything she says and thinks to attract benevolent sexism, a rich guy who's going to finance her so she can make money basically and do whatever she wants. So, are there any women who like invest that much into plastic surgery and their looks and just want to go 50-50 and not expect kind of like a sugar daddy? Eh, I feel like if you're kind of like putting that much effort into conforming to the male gaze, you want the benefits of the male gaze. You want the benefits of sexism. You want the benefits of a guy being a provider. And all you have to do is pretend to be Oh, I'm just so feminine. That's why I want a provider. I'm just so attracted to men with money. I can't help it. That's part of my feminine nature. Yeah, because you get money. Okay? So, yeah, I don't know. That's what I have to say about her. But hey, it's Evan Wells 1. Hello, Evan Wells 1. He says, "Hey, how are you? Hope you're doing well." Thank you, Evan Wells. I am doing well. A little heated and irritated, but I love it, Evan. So, I'm doing great in that respect. I'm having a lot of fun with you guys on the live tonight. Apologies to anyone I've insulted. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, Evan Wells 1. And how are you doing? What's the latest with you? Levi says something interesting here. I think a lot of people are afraid if they actually experience a low rated person as attractive and beautiful, they can reject their own attraction due to fear of consensus opinion. Um, I agree, Levi. I mean, that really seems to be the case. Like, it's very fascinating. I'd be interested in hearing, more about that. Because, I mean, for example, like a lot of fat women know that a lot of guys message them. A lot of guys are attracted to them. But then, of course, they get really like kind of triggered and like upset if they're not attracted back, or like they kind of pretend that they're not into them. And it's like, I mean, yeah, maybe some guys are just kind of thinking, "Oh, a fat woman, she will be easy because she should know she has low value." But it's like they're really attractive. I mean, there's tons of porn of, fat women. There's supposedly like isn't like MILF like the most popular porn category, and yet all these guys out here saying, "Oh, if she is not 25 or younger and fertile and she's hit the wall." Meanwhile, they fucking love it. So, yes, I agree. People have their individual preferences, and a lot of them are afraid to come out of the closet with them, it seems, because they want, society to validate them, like, "Oh, you got her. Wow, you are a real man. You are incredible because you got somebody who everyone else finds attractive. Good for you. You must be very, very cool." What do you guys think? Evan Wells one says he has got some stuff going on in my own pursuits that involve a lot of overtime commitment, going to be presenting in a conference. What kind of conference, Evan Wells one? Another state in October, not big money stuff, cultivating pursuits. The game will come later. Okay, Evan Wells 1. What are your interests and what is this conference about? Very cool. John Barr says men's porn preferences might be somewhat analogous to women's romance fiction preferences, i.e., women are not looking for pirates or vampires in real life. Oh, not with that Jordan Peterson crap with the misquoted pirates or vampires. Hopefully, that was just an example, but that's not actually the top 5 most common female fantasies: pirate, vampire, werewolf, billionaire. Ugh. Wait a second. We got some super chats here. We got John Bauer. Thank you so much, John Bauer. Sorry, I perhaps didn't see this quickly enough. But he says, "Been a while. Please keep doing what you do. My faves were your quizzes using a short movie/TV clip." Wow. Okay, John Bauer. That is good to know. Okay. That's really good to know because I definitely could do that more. I've been just doing these like screenshots of messages and stuff. But you're right. A short movie/TV clip would be even better. So That's actually a great idea, and thank you for reminding me of that, and I will try to get some for my next quiz, perhaps. I will try to really find some of my favorite scenes from movies and TV and maybe talk about and quiz you guys what's attractive about them, and we could do that. And yeah, it's great to see you again, John Bauer. How's it been going? How are you? And thank you so much for your super chat and great advice. So then Tully says, how much, first of all, Tully, thank you so much for your super chat. And he says, how much of a turnoff is being in a short awe of another woman on a date? Wouldn't it contradict your girl likes seeing you flirt with other women? Okay, could you explain this in short awe? Okay, so how much of a turnoff is being, in short, in awe of another woman on a date? Wouldn't it contradict your girl likes seeing you flirting with other women? So basically, if you're in awe of a woman, how much of a turnoff is being in awe of another woman on a date? Okay, so I'm not sure I got this perfect, Tully's. So correct me if I'm not getting this right, because it was a little. I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. So basically, if you're on a date with one woman and you're in awe of another woman, are you saying like, isn't that a good thing because it's like, oh, she like sees you flirting with another woman? Well, first of all, let me just clarify if that's what you're saying, Tully's. Okay, so okay, so let me hear what you said. So he says, so not the girl you're on a date, but another girl nearby. So you're on a date with a girl, and there's another girl nearby, and you act in awe of that girl nearby. That's a terrible idea. Do not do that. That's also certain death. Okay. Do not even really like look at other girls if you're on a date with a girl. That's very bad etiquette, and a girl will be very annoyed by that. But then your question is kind of like, well, don't girls like to see guys flirting with other women? It can make them seem more high value, but it's just, in my opinion, I guess the reason is it's just bad etiquette on a date because it will just come off as like the height of rudeness to a woman. Let's say after the date, you went to the club, and at the club, you did kind of like a tiny bit of kind of almost like innocuous like flirting with the woman at the bar. And the woman saw that, and the woman saw that the woman at the bar was kind of responding to you well. That could create more attraction in her. But if you started like really focusing on that woman and you started like basically flirting with her hardcore, the woman you came on the date with would be like, oh, hell no. No, the door is that way. So you got to be very appropriate on the date and not flirt too much. But if it's kind of like she just happens to see a woman responding well to you and you have a slightly flirtatious comment, but then you go back to your date, that could work in your favor if that makes sense. But, you know, it's like the girl is not invested enough at that point to like stick around if you do something really rude on a first date. Now, let's say you're in a relationship and you see like your boyfriend flirting with another girl and the girl responding well, that might increase attraction, okay? But it's kind of one of those love hate things. It's like, this is uncomfortable. Like, yes, he's showing he's kind of high value, but at the same time, like he's threatening me. So on a first date, it will probably push her over the edge. She'll just be like, oh hell no. So anyway, yeah. Okay, we got so and thank you so much for that, Tully's. Hopefully I answered your question. Let me know if there's any follow-up or I didn't get it. L says, first of all, thank you so much, L. He says, "One last question. Your top 3 red flags on a date." Great question, Al. The only thing is, I'm in a relationship now for a while. In my 20s, I went on over 300 dates, okay? However, I was a lot more ignorant than I am now. I was kinda like your typical girl in New York City in her 20s who was dating around, and I didn't understand the male gaze at all, okay? So, my red flags then on a date, I think would be a lot different than my red flags now on a date, okay? Because I was like basically every other girl, very attracted to kinda like I got the black pill blind spot. I was attracted to good-looking guys. I didn't understand kind of like what came with the territory with that. I, was attracted to kind of like confident, dominant guys. Didn't understand the territory there. Um, you know, I there was a lot just subconsciously that I didn't understand. I didn't understand what men wanted. I didn't understand what they were looking for. I was very confused by men. So that's all to say that my top 3 red flags then would have been very different than what I would just be like now, because I think although I'm not perfect, definitely not perfect. That's why I still do my male gaze lessons every week with my male gaze coach, Jermaine, who's teaching me so much. I understand the male gaze a lot better now. So things that guys do not confuse me as much. Okay. Also, I've gotten so much insight from you guys, from guys on my consultations, that I have cleared up a lot of blind spots. So I would not see the same things as red flags as I used to. If that makes any sense at all. So let me know your thoughts on that. Okay. And thank you so much for your super chat and your great participations in the chat as well. I I loved what you said in the last quiz. So goodbye, Taco Man. And it's Drip Drop. Hey, it's Drip Drop. Uh, Drip Drop? What am I seeing here? You're awesome. I have a girlfriend because of this woman. Oh, hell yeah, Drip Drop. Absolutely incredible. And I know who this woman is. I'm so happy for you. This is amazing. This is one of my greatest success stories. I should really get you to write a testimonial because, well, it was 99.99999999999 repeating percent you, Drip Drop, but I'm happy I got to witness a little bit of the journey. Amazing. And you guys are now girlfriend and boyfriend, and it seems like it's hot as fuck, so absolutely amazing, Drip Drop. Thank you so much for your super chat. Very happy for you. Keep us updated. How's it going with that? Oh gosh, guys. Well, I'm getting so drained. So, anyway, guys, I'll just do a quick read of the chat then perhaps. I will have to bid you adieu for now. But I'm curious what you guys are saying in the chat here. Joshua says he digs the superhero cosplay porn. I know a few others who do as well, Joshua. Boom Bucker says, you're right. I'm looking at BWWAT. Oh, lordy. Is it BW or what's BWW, or is that just a typo? I guess I'll have to look it up later. So, David says, hi, Victoria. Always nice to see you. Sometimes going down on my girlfriend feels tiresome, as if it's really taking a long time. Any advice for a mutually pleasant experience? Yeah, I mean, it can take a woman minimum 15 minutes to come, so that's a long time. Um, Not every woman, but I've heard that on a recent sex therapist on the Sex and Psychology podcast. So she's maybe that was on average. So yeah, that's a long time. Well, is that the only way your girlfriend comes, by going down on her, or can you just switch it up, like do a little bit of that, a little bit of something else, a little bit of something else? I'll just ask you that first, David. So Drip Drop says, I just wanted to say that definitely paid much more for all the advice I got from Victoria to get to this point. Ooh, thank you, Drip Drop. Yes, good point, John Bauer. Early date slash romance, I was complimented for not looking at other girls. Late romance, she got horny seeing me interact with other girls, but it was very delicate balance. Like how you put that. Yes, indeed. Totally says, so a Victoria's Secret level girl passed in front of me while I was with her, maybe in a flirty way, and my date that is highly attractive as well got pissed. Yeah, Tully's, please. If you want to graduate out of pre-K female gaze, stop making all these obvious female gaze errors. But yeah, I mean, no doubt. No doubt. Mr. Booyah says, do you really think all men should try to understand women? It can backfire a lot. I don't see how understanding women backfires. I'll explain that to me, Mr. Booyah, because in my opinion, not understanding women backfires a lot. That's what's like constantly backfiring. It's bound to backfire. It's guaranteed to happen to backfire. So how is getting more understanding gonna backfire? I don't get that. Oh, Keenan says, oh no, Keenan, you super chatted me. Thank you so much. And he says, top 3 green flags in a date. Unfortunately, Keenan, I must say the same thing to you as I was saying to why can't I see the list of the super chats? Oh no, Tully's, oh, damn it, I'm missing some of these super chats. I'm so sorry, guys. I missed one from Tully's up here. Terrible. I'm sorry, Tully's, for that. I don't understand why. Okay. Well, we'll get to yours. Oh no. Tully's, thank you so much for your super chat from before. What's your view on Sadia Khan on high value women? Well, did you hear what I was saying earlier? Because I'm not sure if this was like much earlier and then I already answered it kind of in the chat. Let me know, Tully's. And thank you so much for that. And then where were we here? Oh yeah. What I was saying to Elle about how what I would think now is very different than what I would think in my 20s. So that's kind of my answer to that, Keenan. So do you want to know about now or my 20s? Probably that, but thank you so much for your chat. All right. Guys, I think I must be going soon. Mr. Booyah says, what do you think of men raising their standards? I mean, it depends how they're raising their standards, because a lot of times it's just going to backfire, because they'll be just saying, I demand this, this, and this, and the woman's like, okay, bye, see ya. But, I mean, I think it is good that you don't just settle and get into a relationship with somebody who, like, screws you over long term. So, it's good and bad. Drip Drop says, I will write a 500-word APA testimonial for you. Oh my gosh, incredible, Drip Drop. Must be going very well. Thank you so much. Uh, Joshua says, "You're from NY? I'm from Staten Island." I was living in NY for a very long time, all throughout, basically all through my 20s. Levi says, "Oh, okay." Drip Drop says, "I'm at her house now, so I can't stay on the toilet. But I will definitely be in here for my next live to give you some more of my story." Oh, cannot wait, Drip Drop. And I can't believe you're at her house now. Oh my lord. Wow. Okay, I can't wait. Uh, Evan Wells wants it. It's like occasion for intrigue, right? If you're on a planned date, don't go too far with flirting with another person. If you're courting someone without a history with them, flirting with others is more of a FOMO advantage. Interesting. Interesting point, Evan Wells. So, Joshua Burns, I would not throw in any finger bang. Women don't like the finger bang. Okay? That's kind of like a male gaze lie. They don't like bang, 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 bang. No. Tully says, "I might book a session just to exchange opinions sometime because this whole super chatting is not working out." Well, yes, guys, if you ever want a session with me, I'm going to put this in the chat. This is where you can get them. Wait a second. My bad. Use this link instead. Because, sorry guys, this is the link you should use. My apologies. Keenan says, "My super chat question." Yes, Keenan, I need more information about your super chat question, okay? Because like I said, my opinion now is completely different than it was when I was dating, so I need more information. Does that make sense? Because you keep saying top 3 green flags on a date. I'm like, yeah, but I'm basically like a different person now, so I would not see the same green flags as I once saw. But I appreciate your super chat, Keenan. I'm sorry, it's just a hard question to answer, to be honest, because my mentality about men has completely changed and shifted 100%, 180 degrees. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go to bed, guys. So, I'm waiting for an update from Keenan, but if anyone has any last minute questions, we could do a last minute quiz perhaps, but so Keenan says, "I dated a woman I had something with 5 years ago. We had 6 dates, then she was with another guy. It makes me really upset and angry." And why is that, Keenan? I mean, what made you angry about it? Because isn't that kind of normal that, like, you go on 6 dates and then it doesn't work out, you know? But do you feel like she should have gone on more dates with you, or, what are we thinking there? Renew the R Wand, thank you so much for his super chat. He says, "You've mentioned women don't like being called ma'am. What is a good term to use when trying to get a woman's attention from a distance?" That's true. Renew the R1 blue. Yes, women do not like being called ma'am unless maybe you're in the South and maybe like, it's a bit different there. I'm not sure about that, but in general, a lot of women they don't really enjoy this term ma'am because at least where I'm from, it has the connotation of kind of like an elderly matronly woman who's kind of like middle-aged. So it's almost like you're insulting them by calling them old. You know what I'm saying? I think miss would be more flattering because it's like, "Oh, like, young lady," Sometimes it's funny, like, guys will see an 80-year-old woman, and they'll be like, "And what about you, young lady?" And they're like, "Ha, ha, 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 ha." It's kinda like that. You don't wanna say, "And what about you, you elderly crone?" It's just kinda more flattering, you know? So, what is a good term to use when trying to get a woman's attention from a distance? Like, "Excuse me, excuse me." Maybe just don't add in definitely don't say, "Excuse me, ma'am," if you're trying to wanna date this woman after. But and even miss, it's a bit like maybe like, "Excuse me, young lady." Would about maybe be best, but even miss isn't good. Um, honestly, do you need to be, like, shouting at a woman from, like, across a room? I don't know. What's the actual scenario? Because miss isn't too good either. There's ma'am, there's miss. You don't wanna say lady either. "Lady!" Young lady's the best of them I can think of. You don't say, "Sweetheart, sugar." You know, what are some worse ones? Like, "Sugar tits" or something, like, don't say that. Joshua's a sweetie pie works well too. He's joking, I hope. John Bauer says, "Offering your date your jacket if she's cold, does it ever backfire?" Never, John, it never backfires. It's always a good idea. Levi says, "Perhaps just excuse me in a tone that's polite and engaging and in her direction and appropriate volume." I'd say so, Levi. And eye contact and a smile picks it up from there. Be careful with that smile because people can overdo it with that, but yeah. Okay, Kara says, "I always call my boss's wife ma'am, and now I'm rethinking that. She's late 60s from Alabama." Well, okay, Covers. I mean, I don't want to advise you on that because that seems like the kind of situation that perhaps ma'am is justified. She's from Alabama. She's in her late 60s. She's your boss's wife. Perhaps you're doing the right thing. All right, guys. Well, everybody, thank you so much, everybody. In case you want consultations, I'll just pin it. Okay. I won't be doing them for much longer, guys. Basically, well, certainly not from October to January. But for the month of September, I'll squeeze you in. Levi wants a quiz. Here's a kindergarten level for you, one, Levi. It's funny because this actually was just brought up. It's just a picture. Okay. But this girl's a 10, guys. It's his wedding day, allegedly. And yet he's rubbernecking to look at this 10. Meanwhile, this 9.1 or whatever you guys would say. Oh no, she's a 7. She's a 6 out of 10. No, she's a 4. She's a 3. She's a 2. Oh, she's a 1. She's getting married to this one and look. Terrible, right? Well, not according to some of you. This was actually a super chat tonight. Anyway, guys. All right, guys, here's one for you. This is a very feminist one. So, brace yourselves, because we always got a lot of men on this chat who think feminism is the devil. So, we'll see if you can brace yourselves and you're man enough to handle this one, all right? It's another picture. Okay, guys. So, this guy is saying, can you miniaturize yourself so that I can feel good about my manhood? This is a very female gaze drawing. If you can understand this, you will understand a lot about the female gaze. So, quick quiz. In your own words, what does this mean? When a woman sees this, what is she thinking? If you understand this, you will understand a lot. This is like college level. So, let's see. So I'll read to you one more time. So there's this like goddess like woman shining, and she's big and she's large and she has breasts, so you guys will like it. She has 2 circles and a triangle, so you'll love it. But then there's this guy here who says, can you miniaturize yourself so that I can feel good about my manhood? What does it mean, guys? And because you love it, here is the nude body for you. Oh my god. Oh my god, she's literally nude. It's incredible. I love it so much. Just kidding. All right, guys. So, what does it mean? That's your quiz. Get your answers in. Okay. Oh god, Zoramina. Oh my gosh, Zoramina, you're still here. Oh god, what have you been thinking of the chat so far? I'm amazed you stuck it out. Zoramina, you're a woman. You will know what this means. 100%. All right, so let's see. I'll hold this here, and I'll give you another 10 to 20 seconds. What does it mean to when a woman sees this? What does it mean? Can you miniaturize yourself so that I can feel good about my manhood? Okay, what does this mean? You got 15, you got 14, you got 13, you got 12, you got 11, you got 10 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. You got your answers in. Let's see what you guys said. Mr. Booyah says she wants to be above you and wants you to let her be. Incorrect, Mr. Booyah. I hate to give you an F, but you fell for it. No, that's unfortunately you failed this one. Don't get gaslighted. It says you're pretty funny. Thank you. I appreciate that. Elle says that's a good one. Basically, it shows how women feel like they have to dance around men's insecurities. You get an A for that, Elle. Yes, that's a great explanation. Very, very good. Very good. IDK says, this one makes my small little man brain hurt. Yes, IDK, yes, you're getting an education tonight, so I'm glad. But there's always the nude form here, so that can help. Renew the R1 Blue says, she's thinking he needs to step up his game to her level rather than diminish herself to not make him feel insecure. A freaking plus, Renew the R1. Yes. 100%. I'm very proud. Mr. Booyah says, hilarious how women despise male sexuality, lol. They actually don't, so I'm not sure where you're getting that from, Mr. Booyah, but feel free to explain. Banter ABC says, it's wrong on many levels. Agree to disagree, Banter ABC. Levi Shanner says, he's a beaten down beta-ish male with low self-esteem and fragile ego, and therefore not rising up to her level in order to express how beautiful her full self really is. Yes, Levi, pretty much. Yeah, I'm going to give you A- for that because I was not sure where you were going with it first, but yeah, I think you got it. Digital Renaissance says that is a disturbing comic. Why, Digital? Evan Wells 1 means it means a man needs to be the container for a woman's radiance, a solid ground for her dance. If he's intimidated by her exhibition slash her abandon, then he isn't being what she needs, or he's not a man. Well, somebody's been studying the whole polarity gurus. Evan Wells, one, I'm not much of a fan of that kind of like framing of like dating, but it's another way of saying this. Like, for example, if this was some kind of like woman into tantra who wanted a spiritually like grounded conscious man, like that's probably what she would say. So I'll give you an A minus for that. Heaven Wells 1, perhaps unfairly, but Joshua says he's got no cojones. Yep. IDK says this is attractive. OK Cover says, to me that drawing is insight into how women think. Indeed, things like that taught me that women have a bias where they think a lot of what men do is an attack, oppression, unfair abuse of power, etc. They do. They do. Banter says what she sees depends on her. Digital Renaissance, women so ego. Okay. David Gonzalez says instead of growing himself, he wants her to limit herself to satisfy his insecurity. We got to give David an A plus. Teacher's pet. Yes, David. Exactly. Okay. Then John Barrett says women experience societal expectations to lower themselves and they don't like it. A plus, John Bauer, yes. Mr. Booyah says just seems like they want to be above us. No, Mr. Booyah, we gotta school you on this one. We'll get to that. Tully says, have you ever seen Jessica J dating content, Victoria? I don't think I have, Tully. Mr. Booyah says, I mean, they basically hate being sexualized, is what I mean. They don't. So I don't know what you're thinking of, Mr. Booyah, but they don't like being sexualized by the wrong guys who they have no interest in, but with a guy they have interest in, they like being sexualized. So IDK says, oh, I thought it was something women found attractive. Lol, I was training hard to make that make sense. No, it's the opposite. Levi says, I meant it as a caricature, not that he's actually beaten down or beta, not in an offensive way, just as her caricature of him. Yeah, although, is it a caricature? Yeah, good point. Joshua says she's in the WNBA. Levi says, I think it interestingly reflects that many men have lost their connection to their pure sexuality in which he would just be as big and bright with her, so sexual healing and compassion are needed. Well, that's an interesting interpretation, Levi, but I don't think that's what this comic is saying, but that's a cool additional interpretation. So anyway, guys, a few of you aced this one, but I will explain it to you guys, okay? Basically, this is how women perceive beta males. Okay? This is how women perceive basically all of what like the red pill guys are saying. It's like saying, like, for example, low body count. Okay? It's like, can you not have slept with a lot of guys so that I can feel like I'm impressing you in bed with you? Or what's another example? Can you try to be like submissive and not shit test me so that I can feel confident and, masculine when I'm with you? Or what's another one? Can you not be smarter than me so that I can feel like smart enough to be with you, that I can like keep you? Can you not be more successful than me so that you don't like trigger my insecurities about success? All these things that men kind of say they want in a woman, to a woman, it can come off as just very insecure. It's like, handicap yourself so that we're on the same level. Women perceive that as very beta, okay? And they perceive an alpha mentality as a guy who says, I am not intimidated by you. I'm not scared of you. And don't actually say this, but this is kind of the mentality. I like strong women. I'm not intimidated by strong women. You don't have to restrict yourself so that I feel comfortable and that you feel, you kind of soothe like my insecurities. You don't have to make yourself smaller. You can be all of you. You can be yourself. And I respect, support, and champion that. So, this is how women perceive a lot of what men say. It's men saying, make yourself stupider, make yourself weaker, make yourself smaller, make yourself thinner, make yourself, less sexual, make yourself less successful so that I feel on top. So that's how women see a lot of men. That's kind of like the beta male mentality. Okay. And unfortunately, men don't necessarily know that's how they're acting. Okay. But that's how women are seeing them a lot of times. So does that make sense? So Armina says, look like a guy that needs a lot of validation because he has me on a pedestal while simultaneously objectifying me. Interesting take, Romina. So, Evan Wells 1, I'll tell you. You said, what is your critique of my language? Okay, I'll just real quick tell you because you said it means a man needs to be the container for a woman's radiance. Okay, well, this is just so. I know we probably disagree on this, Evan Wells 1, but if you just want my opinion, there's so much like jargon and like woo woo, like these spiritual sexuality people tell you women want guys to be like the container, like the conscious container for a woman's radiance. I don't know. It's like they just water everything down and they try to make everything so spiritual and they try to just kind of force women and men into this tiny role of like teaching men, this is how you be dominant. It's like, women, be more submissive so that the beta males have a chance to like dominate you and you guys can start having sex again. Because it's like people, they go to these like relationship workshops and stuff because like they're not having sex and they're not attracted to each other. So it's like, women, if you just act like really sexual and like flirtatious all the time, and men will just kind of teach you this one kind of very artificial, awkward way to be dominant by like standing still like a great oak tree and like feeling your energy in the back of your spine. And, then women might like have some chance of perceiving you as dominant and they'll start being attracted to you again. It's like, how about you guys just like learn like what kink is and start getting into like sex? But a lot of the people in these spiritual circles, in my opinion, they are too squeamish about sex. They're not ready to like accept like the dirty side of sex, so they want to kind of purify it and make it like sacred sexuality. Oh no, this isn't dirty and wrong. I'm just spiritual and I'm just being a very conscious person about my sexuality and everything. So they basically radiance is like the code word for basically being sex brain and be like super sexual and flirtatious. And then men must be the solid container. That's code for act like artificially tough and masculine and instead of like your normal beta self. And then maybe women will kind of like perceive you as a dom. There's a lot better ways to do it. That's my take. All right, guys. Alrighty, guys. Well, I will, for real now, say goodbye. Thank you, everybody, for participating in my chats. Thank you to those in college and PhD programs of the female gaze for sharing your wisdom tonight. Thank you, Zora Mina, our one certified female besides myself, for sharing your female gaze perspective. Thank you to all my super chatters. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You make this like really fun for me. Um, Thank you to all the kindergarteners and the pre-K even. You guys entertain me to no end. Really. You make it fun. And I learn about like the male gaze blind spots from you guys. Yeah, if you guys want a consultation, get them while they're hot and before they end. Because I'm taking an extended break, guys. Hopefully all goes well. Something exciting is happening. Very exciting. And IDK's rating women. Come on now, IDK. Come on now. Oh god, that's hilarious. And all right, guys. Thanks for being yes, Joshua. Thanks for letting me be goofball. Absolutely, you guys goofed off tonight and it entertained me. IDK says he's kidding. He's goofing as well. Wonderful. Good, IDK. Mr. Rio says we can rate. Never. If we will revolt if you take our ability to rate women on a 1 to 10 scale from us. Never, never. All right, guys. Oh, Mr. Booyah, I gotta block you now for saying that. Unfortunately. I just blocked him. All right, guys. Goodbye, everybody.